Shalom. Kalalayam Yahweh. Bahasham Yawashai Bahasham Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of GMS who teach us this truth. Teach us this truth that the Negroes, the Native Americans, and the Latinos are some of the Israelites on this side. And shalom to the brothers who teach us truth as well. This is Banaya. So this one was sent to me by an elder. This is pertaining to the Egyptians and who they were, actually not who they are today. So this is not my content. So fair use, it's just for criticism, okay?
Everything that you were told about
I'll just be playing some clips from this before I go into other stuff, so to speak.
The first pharaohs of the Nile Valley came from Taseti. It was part Sudan, part Egypt.
I wanna put you in my life. I wanna.
Okay. Navigate, where are you? Okay. So this is Etymology Online. So this is one. Kemet does not. I asked some questions, and this is some of the replies I got. Kemet does not directly mean chemistry, but it is the ancient geographical root that inspired the word alchemy. So alchemy is chemistry, right? Black land, the ancient Egyptian language. Literally means black land. The Nile soil, the name refers to the dark, fertile soil left behind by the annual flooding of the Nile River, which contrasts with desert, the red land of the surrounding desert. Okay. So it said the modern word chemistry traces back to the Renaissance word alchemy, derived from the Arabic alchemia. So yeah, I'm going here. So Greek adaptation, linguistics trace the Arab term back to the ancient Greek word hemia, which referred to Egyptian metallurgy and philosophical arts and was derived from Kemet. Okay. Yeah, you can read for yourself as I go along. So yes, it went back to Kemet, right? Chemistry. Yeah. So who gave them all of this? So it's saying the ancient Egyptians were an advanced civilization that lived along the Nile River in North Africa for more than 3,000 years. Farmers, builders. So who they were farmers and builders. Most people were farmers who grew crops like wheat, barley. Okay. They were ruled by pharaohs. Kings and queens were known as pharaohs. And were viewed as living gods. So they always try to put something in there. You know what? Population of mix of native African groups and people from neighboring Mediterranean. The thing came from Upper Egypt, which is in deep in Ethiopia. Ethiopia does mean black lands also, right? So that it was the upper region, the beginning of the Nile, that these people came down and conquered the rest. So I'm just showing you these things from BBC. Yeah. So it was biblically Hebrew, it's Mizrahim. In Hebrew, it's Mizrahim. Okay. A son of Am. So now I'm going to show you all this, going through the scriptures. So, celestial science, better known as astronomy. Okay. Showing all these things because I will go into this book before I go into the Bible, right? So this is from the new complete works of Eusebius. Okay. So this is talking about after this, when a famine had invaded the land of Canaan and Abraham had discovered that the Egyptians were in flourishing condition, he was disposed to go down to them go to partake of the plenty they enjoy, and become an auditor of the priests. Okay. So remember, Abraham was coming from Chaldea. He was a Chaldean too, right? His family were Chaldeans, so magicians. So this is talking about him great, skillful in the celestial science. So he knew about the course of the moon and the stars. He knew all of that. The sun, the moon. He knew about the heavens, right? That's what this is talking about. And he tell you he communicated to them arithmetic. Yeah. Science. So he taught them all of this. He taught their priests. So the Egyptian learned from the Chaldeans, and the Greeks learned from the Egyptians. Okay. Or Mizraimites, whatever you want to call that. So this is the book of the complete works of Eusebius. It's a good book to have. Yeah. Yeah. So now I'll bring out some scriptures. I'll start from Genesis 10. So I'll do the NLT. This is the account of the families of Shem, Ham, and Japheth, the three sons of Noah. Many children were born to them after the great flood. So now I'll jump up to where Ham is. No. 1 and 10. Build this kingdom, the cities of Babylon. No, that's not it. Okay. Mizraim was the ancestor of the Lodites, Anamites, Leabites, and Nephtalites. Patricites, Canaan, oldest son was Sidon, ancestor of the Sidonians. Canaan was also the ancestor of the Hittites, Jebusites, Amorites, Girgasites, Avatites, Architites, and Sinites. So these are the Amites. Okay. Amites, the Amites. Yes, 6. Oh boy. And I do the KJV now. And the sons of Ham, Cush, Mizraim, and Put, and Canaan. And the sons of Cush, Seba, Avilar, Sabta, Rama, and Sabtekcha. And the sons of Rama, Sheba, and Dedan. And Cush begot Nimrod. So Nimrod was the first mighty man, so to speak. After that, he was a hunter, controlled people, right? He started Babylon, right? So Mizraim is Egypt, if you don't get it. Genesis 12. Let's start at 10. So that's where the Egyptian came from. They are Hamites, children of Ham. So this is when Abraham went down there and taught them the sciences. Okay. And there was a famine in the land, and Abraham went down into Egypt to sojourn there, for the famine was grievous in the land. It came to pass when he was come near to enter into Egypt that he said unto Sarah, his wife, Behold, now I know that thou art a fair woman to look upon. Therefore it shall come to pass, when the Egyptians see thee, that they shall say, This is his wife, and they will kill me, but they will save thee alive. Say, I pray thee, thou art my sister, that it may be well with me for thy sake, and my soul shall live because of thee. And it came to pass that when Abraham was come into Egypt, the Egyptian beheld the woman, that she was very fair. So she was beautiful. That's what fair really means. Beautiful. Okay. Doesn't mean light skin. It means beautiful. The princess also of Pharaoh saw her and commended her before Pharaoh. And the woman was taken into Pharaoh's house. And he entreated Abraham well for her sake. And he had sheep and oxen and he horses and men servants and maid servants and she asses and camels. And Yahweh plagued Pharaoh and his house with great plagues because of Sarah, Abraham's wife. And when Pharaoh called Abraham, said, What is this that thou hast done unto me? Why didst thou not tell me that she was thy wife? Why saidst thou, She is my sister, so I might have taken her to me to wife? Now therefore, behold, thy wife, take her and go thy way. And Pharaoh commanded his men concerning him, and they sent him away, his wife and all that he had. Okay, so that's on that. It doesn't really go into details about him teaching them. It's just a historian Eusebius. Okay, so now we jump down to Genesis 15. And I start at 12. And when the sun was going down, a deep sleep. I'll have to read further for context. Start from 1 at the beginning. After these things, the word of Yahweh came unto Abram in a vision, saying, Fear not, Abram, I am thy shield and thy exceeding great reward. And Abram said, Yahweh power, what wilt thou give me, seeing I go childless? And the steward of my house is Eliezer of Damascus. And Abram said, Behold, to me thou hast given no seed, and lo, one born in my house is mine heir. And behold, the word of Yahweh came unto him, saying, This shall not be thine heir, but he that shall come forth out of thine own bowels shall be thine heir. So he's just talking about his nutsack. That's where it will come from, right? And he brought him forth abroad and said, Look now towards heaven, and tell the stars if thou wilt be able to number them. And he said unto him, So shall thy seed be. And he believed in Yahweh, and he counted it to him for righteousness. So he had faith, very strong faith. And he said unto him, I am Yahweh that brought thee out of Ur of the Chaldees, to give thee this land to inherit it. And he said, Yahweh power, where be shall I know that I shall inherit it? And he said unto him, Take me an heifer of 3 years old, and as she goat of 3 years old. So yes, so now you get the gist. So now I'll jump back to 12. And when the sun was going down, a deep sleep fell upon Abram, and lo, an arrow of great darkness fell upon him. And he said unto Abram, Know of a certainty that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years. And also that nation whom they shall serve will I judge afterward. Shall they come out with great substance? Is it not said that a day to Yahweh is like 1,000 years to us? Yes. I think it's in Peter's. And thou shalt go to thy father in peace, thou shalt be buried in a good old age. So, he had the vision of what would happen to us after he had passed. Acts 7 and 17. Let's start at 7 and 6. And Yahweh spake unto we start at the beginning. Acts 7 and 1. Then said the high priest, Are these things so? And he said, Men, brethren, fathers, hear, hearken. Yahweh of glory appeared unto our father Abraham when he was in Mesopotamia, before he dwelt in Charan, and said unto him, Get thee out of thy country, and from thy kindred, and come into the land which I shall show thee. Then he came out of the land of the Chaldeans, and dwelt in Charan. And from thence, when his father was dead, he removed him into his land, where he now dwelt. Okay, so now I jump to 6. And Yahweh spake unto this wise, that his seed should sojourn in a strange land, and they should bring them into bondage, and entreat them evil 400 years. And the nation to whom they shall be in bondage will I judge, said Yahweh, And after that shall they come forth and serve me in this place. And he gave, so you notice, what is in Egypt today is not Egypt, you know. They are mixed up in there somewhere, but they have been invaded, they have been punished. You know that this place hasn't risen since. And the people are mixed, are overcome, so to speak. Right? They have not risen since they went down in the Red Sea. People have stolen their names. Although Egypt just means also bandit, right? And serve me in this place. And he gave him the covenant of circumcision. And so Abraham begot Isaac and circumcised him the 8th day. And Isaac begot Jacob, and Jacob begot the 12th patriarch. Yeah. And the patriarch moved with envy, sold Joseph into Egypt, but Yahweh was with him, because it was for their own deliverance. They did it not knowing what they were doing. They were envious, but that envy was to save them as well. And delivered him out of all his affliction, and gave him favor and wisdom in the sight of Pharaoh, king of Egypt. And he made him governor over Egypt and all his house. Jump to 17. But when the time of the promise drew nigh, which Yahweh had sworn to Abraham, the people grew and multiplied in Egypt, till another king arose which knew not Joseph, or Joasap. The same dwelt subtly with our kindred, and evil entreat our fathers, so that they cast out their young children, to the end that they might not live. Which time Moses was born, was exceeding fear, nourishing up his father's house 3 months. So they were forcing to kill the male child. They were forced to kill the male child and leave the woman child, because the woman does not carry seed. Numbers 1 and 18. You understand? So once you get rid of the male, there is no seed. So that was their plan. But Yahweh Basham Yoshai had other plans. You understand? You cannot go against his plans. So what happened in ancient Egypt happened in this Egypt as well, where they were feeding our children to alligators. They were killing them, not licking them against stones and killing them. They did that to the northern tribes as well. Yeah. And when he was cast out, Pharaoh's daughter took him up and nourished him for her own son. So Moses was put in the river, and he became prince of Egypt, didn't he? Acts 13 and 17. Yahweh. So Yahweh Bashem Yoshai of this people of Israel chose our fathers and exalt the people when they dwelt as strangers in the land of Egypt. And with an iron bought he them out of it. Yeah. So he took them out of that bondage, just like he will take us out of this bondage, but by chariots. jump to Exodus 1 and 7. And the children of Yasharal were fruitful and increased abundantly, and multiplied and waxed exceeding and mighty, and the land was filled with them. Now there arose a new king over Egypt, which knew not Yahweh. And he said unto his people, Behold, the people of the children of Yasharal are more and mightier than we. Come, let us deal wisely with them, lest they multiply. And it come to pass that when there falleth out any war, they join also unto our enemies and fight against us, and so get them up out of the land. Therefore they did set over them taskmasters to afflict them with their burdens, and they built for fear treasure cities, Pithom and Ramesses. So the treasure cities are what you see, the pyramids, right? Those are the treasure cities. Our people built them, okay? Just like before, Joseph or Yahweh advised Pharaoh to set up storehouses for the 7 years of famine. Jump to 20. So 12. But the more they afflict them, the more they multiply and grew, and they were grieved because of the children of Yasharal. And the Egyptians or Mizrahim made the children of Israel to serve with rigor, and they made their lives bitter with hard bondage in mortar and brick, and in all manner of service in the field. All their service wherein they made them serve was with rigor. Word rigor. Rigor.
Strong's H 6531. Perech. Perech.
So harshness, severity, cruelty. Okay. Okay. Okay, so that's Exodus 1, and I jump to 20 now, the final verse. No, 19. And the midwife said, 18, sorry, Slakia. And the king of Egypt called for the midwife and said unto them, Why have you done this thing, and have saved the men children alive? And the midwife said unto Pharaoh, Because the Hebrew women are not as the Egyptian women, for they are lively and are delivered. The midwives come in unto them. Therefore, Yahweh dwelt well with the midwives, and the people multiplied and waxed very mighty. So that's that. And my final verse will be Psalms 105 with 22 to 27, which comes into from Acts 7. Psalms 105. go to 22. Okay, done. Okay, this is about Joseph, okay? Okay, I start at 15, saying, touch not my anointing, do my prophet no harm. Moreover, he called for a famine upon the land. He brake the whole staff of bread. He sent a man before them, even Jehoshaphat, who was sold for a servant, whose feet they hurt with fetters. He was laid in iron, until the time that his word came. The word of Yahweh tried him. The king said, and loose him, even the ruler of the people, and let him go free. He made him lord of his house and ruler of all his substance, to bind his princes at his pleasure, and teach his senators wisdom. Yasharal also came into Egypt, and Jacob or Jacob sojourned in the land of Ham. And he increased his people greatly and made them stronger than their enemies. So I hope that was edifying. So I give all praises to Yahweh. Ba'asham Yoshai Ba'asham Rakakadash. Shalom.